Or, uh, you know what I mean. Let me get my BGM all set up. I always forget to do that. I should automate that process. There we go. The relaxing stuff, the good stuff. What up, what up? It is 4 p.m., about 4 hours usually than I usually program on mic is low? Really? Mic audio is lowish? It's, once again, it is like clipping and I can raise it, sure. Okay. I mean, I can't make it any louder. I'm peaking now. Okay, the BGM is, loading screen BGM is loud. Noted. As I mentioned, I rerouted all of my OBS stuff this week, and I set up a bunch of new things on my Stream Deck. So, everything is new. I don't know how the levels are all relative. I did a couple of test records. I think this makes my voice too loud now. I'm pretty sure I'm peaking, like clipping, but if you think it's fine, I trust you. I'll watch the recording later. And I guess I can try and adjust the loading screen BGM somehow. Not sure how I'd go about doing that. Let's see. Now we go back to hotkeys. No, scenes. Capture groups. Web dev. Unity. There we go. So, when last we left off, last time I touched this app, we were in a pretty good spot. I was in the way of adding emotion triggers, so I'll fire the app up here and we can see it working. Connects to VTube Studio, no problem. We have our little slider. Under outputs here, we have not just a Artmish tinter, but we also have an expression trigger. There we go. That's the phrase. So I can make myself angry or choose any of my other expressions from a dropdown. So if we go down to inputs and I crank this all the way up, it gives me my little angry eyebrows. As is the way. Of course, the Armesh tint for this is not ideal. I can clean it up a little bit. It's like 128, I think, like that. And then it needs to be more than just head. It's head and mouth, I think. There's a great tool that it links to in the tooltip that lets you find out what all of your art meshes are. Yeah, that's better. That's what I want. So I get angry, like I'm about to pop off. It's pretty good. So the two tasks that I have for myself today are, firstly, I want to add some kind of smoothing, because while it's very easy to get smooth results with this slider, I found that with the API that I'm only pulling every 500 milliseconds, I get large jumps sometimes between pulses. It seems like a couple of people have posted clips on Twitter actually of them using the app, and the one thing I always notice is that the interpolation between their different steps on their parameter tracking is not very smooth. So like one person had their hair like become a fire or set ablaze, right, when they started getting a really high heart rate, but it doesn't go linearly. If they went from 90 to like 110, there's a huge gap there, and it's kind of jagged on the tracking side. So I want to change that. And then also over here, because now this is saved per model. Like if I load up, if I go into, I don't know what happens if I change my model, but I've got items on, but I can become this character now. And we should see. Yeah, okay, so she's got similar head, mouth. Actually, wait, hold on. I think I broke something here, actually. Because this shouldn't work like this. I think I broke something. I was trying to demonstrate that this will, like, when you load a new model, flush your currently loaded settings, unless I have to go, like, back. Shouldn't need to do that. And it'll load per model, but it seems like it didn't actually do that. Hold on. So now if I swap to a completely different character that I've never made a thing for before. Oh, that's a problem. I broke this. I broke this and I didn't even realize it. Okay. Interesting, interesting, interesting. That's bad. It's supposed to wipe this every time you swap to a new model. And what I wanted to add was the ability to clone this. So you'd have new settings per model, and then you could copy them over if you have multiple variations of the same model. But it seems like it's just keeping these. And so now if I go into here and I open up my save data folder, I probably have models for all of these? No? Yeah? Let's see. Yeah, so I can flip over to VS Code here. And so I've got, like, for Akari, it's saved like so, but that's very similar to how Skeletom is saved. It's the same, except with a different expression, because she doesn't have angry expression. So I'm wondering why that is. I guess that's the first thing we'll do then, if we got to debug why it didn't wipe my save file. So let's clear the one for Akari, and I'm gonna stop the app in Unity. And we're gonna swap over to Akari. Actually, I guess I want to go back to being me. Let's become Skeletom once more. Do I get to keep the birthday hat? I do. But I'm floating, and you get to see how bald I am from the waist down. There you go. Okay, that's me. That's the guy I am. So, what do I want to do here? I need to look at the way this is saving and loading. And that should be pretty straightforward to do, because it's all managed in one central place. So what did I do here that broke this? Whenever we load model data, we clear the current data, and then we create stuff based on the new data we're loading. So where does this get called? I also changed it so that you pass in the current model. This is from the converting old save files. Okay, so that's one way to do that. Or this is something I'll talk about later. I had to write a script to copy legacy save data over to the new style because it has changed. I can't believe that a skeleton is bald, right? It's amazing. You'd think we keep our hair forever, but what I mean by that is I don't currently have legs, so every time I swap my model back to the current one that I'm using, and VTube Studio resets my position, you get to see just how little they were able to dig out of the grave when they dug me up. Also, hello. Welcome aboard. Thanks for joining me early today. This is going to be, I think, like a 2-hour stream. I'm going to go until, I think, 6 p.m. But I had stuff on my plate, and now I'm caught blindsided by the fact that I broke something and didn't realize it because I don't have good unit testing. Or really, any unit testing. Unity does not facilitate unit testing particularly well. Okay. So we clear our current data, which is supposed to destroy all of our input modules. Hold on, I need to test this again. Was that just like a fluke? What happened here? I'm not sure. I need to do more testing. So we go back to Unity. Wrong Unity. It's Unity. Alright, so we open up Unity here. Still working on digging them out. Yeah, that's fair. So we've got me. I'm currently loaded up. I've got head and mouth and my angry expression at 110. Cool. So now if I go into VTube Studio again, and I swap over to Akari. No. Okay, it definitely doesn't work right. It keeps my settings for some reason and converts them over, which is wrong. And then it will save as soon as I close, which I don't want it to do. So let's delete that, turn that off. Why would it do that? I'm so confused how I could have possibly broken that. Okay. Okay. So let's follow the flow of the application. If the app is authenticated, it pulls every frame, which it probably shouldn't do, where we get our current model, check what model we currently have loaded. If... Oh, wait. Wait, okay, so we get our current... The classic coding experience, right? Yeah, okay. So we get our current model, if we're successful. If the model data that we get back does not equal the model data that we currently have loaded, then we say we're going to load our model for whatever. And then we save our current model information. And then we load from the new one. But I think that means if there isn't any... No, okay, well, this wouldn't work. I'm pretty sure this used to work, but now that I say this out loud, it doesn't make sense to me. Because if you have never had a setting for the model that you're trying to load, you load in a brand new one, and you do save model data for this current model. We go to what this function does. We get all of the information about our model, and we iterate over all of these. We iterate over our color inputs and our expressions, and we finally save it to a file. If you didn't already have something loaded in, you're just going to save whatever you have, and then we're going to load for... Oh, wait, no, but it's saving for the old model. So we write this to the old file, and we load model data for this. Load model data, we pass in this. If the directory doesn't exist for models, we create the directory. We make a file path for the new model ID. If the file exists, we load model data. Oh! There it is. Okay. So, foolishly, in my infinite wisdom, I have two method signatures with the same name, but they take different parameters. I probably shouldn't do that. Now that I think about it, this doesn't really make sense. Okay, so this one creates the directory, potentially, if it doesn't exist. I don't know why the load would create the directory. And we try and fetch it out of... I guess it's just, anytime you try and load, you should make sure this directory exists. That's fine, sure. We have our path. If the file exists, the file path, we get file from it, and then we pass that in, once we've typed it, to this guy, because there's another way we can get to here as well. So here you can select based on the model ID, which is the file name, that makes sense, and here you can load the actual content. I should name these separately. But the problem was, if the file doesn't exist, i.e. you've never loaded this model before, it will never invoke this step, and this step is required to wipe out what you currently have. So nothing would happen, and it would just keep all of the settings you currently had, and then it would go and save them later, which might be what you actually want, but I should make it more explicit. That should be a way the user consciously makes that decision. I mentioned I have a plan to let you clone these model data pieces from one profile to another. That should be, I think, a deliberate choice by the user. Okay, so now that I've added clear current data here, I should just check my to-dos next time. That's way easier. Let's go back to Unity. I'm going to stop being Akari for a moment here, again. Gonna go back to being me. You get to see, once again, that I'm missing my legs. It's fine. I don't need them. I don't do any walking in this profession, I just sit at my desk and hammer out code with my bony little fingers. Alright, so now we boot this up, fire this up. Under outputs, it'll load for me in a second, I think. Oh no, now what have I done? What have I done? Okay, hold on. What have I done? Oh, okay. I think okay, let's start fresh. Let's start fresh here. Let me clear out the save file that I have currently, which the only one in my folder was for the cat. So now we go back to our app here. Let me set this back up again. 128, 128, head, mouth, like so. Under my min and max here. 120 or something like that, that's probably fine. We can add our expression trigger, which is going to be angry, threshold of 110. Cool, well and good. So now I can demonstrate that working, as is the way. Good, good, good. Now if I go, I'm going to pop over back to outputs here. Oh, should be mouth. Not mouth. Though it does match, because it's just a fuzzy search. So now if I go back to being Akari, there we go. it wipes the settings, exactly as you'd expect. I can give her one for, like, arm, and it's just going to turn her arms blue. Sorry, Akari, it's just the way of the world. So, there we go. Gives her some nice sleeves. Probably needs some better circulation, but it's very visually different than turning my face pink. Cool. So now I go here again. I can go back to being myself. And we load our save file stuff. Perfect. That's what I expected to happen. Cool, cool, cool. What's happening here? Soul Reaper. That's a very chuny name. Hello, Soul Reaper. What's up? What's this say? Does it say vibes? Vibes. What up? How's it going? I'm doing programming, a skeleton's greatest honor. You can watch a skeleton get flushed in real time. Hi, how are you? I'm doing well. I just solved a bug that I introduced to my own code base like a week ago, and then never bothered to find. So we're already off to a good start. I've broken out of the prison of my own construction. Nice. How are you? Please tell me about yourself. Give me all of the important detail. What is a Soul Reaper doing today on this Saturday afternoon? Alright, so that works. That's good, good, good. I should probably commit my code right now that I know that it works. I should also probably build unit tests for this somehow. But that's for another day. Definitely not for a stream. I'm not going to subject you guys to watching me write automated tests. Git add. Fixed. What did I fix here? Case where loading fresh model accidentally copied old settings. It's funny because that is actually behavior that I want, but I want the user to be able to do it themselves. I'm doing good, just chilling, checking out everyone on the Bone Pile Discord, showing love to all my Skeletom. Well, that's very kind of you. Thank you. I will be here all weekend. Today I'm doing programming, tomorrow I'm doing some baking. Monday I've got a collab with Bon, who's also in the chat. We're gonna build something, like physical, like a model kit together, so that'll be fun. Thank you for stopping by, I appreciate it. There we go. Bon, not even using her own emote. How humble. That's on Monday. That's a ways away. Sounds fun and cool, I hope so. Alright. So, back to VS Code. What am I trying to do here? I wanted to add smoothing. That was my first task, I think. So there are two ways I can go about doing this. I could add smoothing directly to the part where we get it back from the API for Pulsoid, but I feel like I should try and somehow implement smoothing for the heart rate overall, like at the part where we read it, which would be in here. I should probably remove that to-do as well, but I think I need to do a bit more testing. So that would be, where do we read our heart rate? Right here, module. If the module is active, we get our heart rate from it directly, and we just say, yeah, that makes sense. And we do this every frame, and that means we can update as frequently as the individual module we have gives us new heart rate data. But not all of the modules give us heart rate data at the same rate. Like, again, the Pulsoid one I have set to update every half second, and the slider can obviously update every frame because it's a slider. So I don't know if there's a great way to introduce a lerp function here for making the heart rate smoothly go, because I don't know if the interval, it's like completely random, it's not fixed. Whereas if I were to do it from the manager here, I know the fixed interval for this. Birthday. Happy birthday. Birthday is in 2 days on Monday. On Monday, February 14th, Valentine's Day is my birthday. I will be doing a great streamer honor of hosting my birthday stream on somebody else's channel. But thank you. Yeah. We still got a couple days. There's still time for you guys to buy me a birthday gift or whatever the tradition is. That's Monday the 14th at 8 p.m. will be my birthday stream over on Bon's channel. No pizza's on Sunday, Denchi. Pizza's tomorrow. And frankly, calling what I'm gonna make tomorrow a pizza is a bit of a stretch. Yeah. But it will be using the same pizza dough, as always. I'll just be putting something different on top of it this time, and hopefully it will be edible. I don't know, I haven't made it before. Tomorrow is I'm making a cinnamon roll style pizza. So it'll be the same dough. I've got a recipe for a glaze. I'll actually give you guys a little sneak peek of what I'm going to do. I'll pop the recipe up like this tomorrow. You can follow along at home, as is the way. And yeah, that'll be tomorrow at 6 p.m. So about an hour and a half from right now, tomorrow, we'll be doing the baking stream. And that's as close as you'll get to a birthday stream on my own channel here. I'll make myself a birthday cake. We can all sing. I can do my first ever karaoke stream where I sing happy birthday to myself, etc., etc. And then Monday is my actual birthday, and that'll be on Bond's channel, because Mondays are her nights for building Gunpla, and I would not take that from her, even for my own birthday. You have 0 of those ingredients to do. Really? It's most of the same stuff. Like, it's water, which I know you say is difficult to get. Olive oil, salt, flour, sugar, yeast. That's all the same bread stuff. Then the spread and the glaze don't have a whole ton of other new stuff. We need butter. I guess maybe you don't have butter. Brown sugar. Oh, okay, actually, this is kind of a lot of things. You're right. Now that I'm actually reading it, these are things that I always have on hand. But maybe it's a lot. Or a bunch of different things. I don't know. And then the glaze is also just butter, sugar, vanilla. Yeah, yeah. Okay, you're right. It's a bit much. I tweeted this a couple days ago, though. I gave people time. If they want to participate, they can. They don't gotta. Or they can always just watch the VOD. Or make a normal pizza. They don't have to make the weird, fucked up sugar glazed pizza that I'm going to make. It's my birthday, not theirs, probably. Unless it is their birthday. In which case, you know, then I should send them the birthday cake. I've completely lost my train of thought. Okay, yeah, so I want to add smoothing to this because I've observed from clips that people have posted that the Pulsoid app gives back very erratic changes in heart rate. I poll every half second. I don't actually know that the app updates every half second. So you'll see people jump from like 90 to 110 BPM, which depending on if they have expression triggers or how finely tuned their threshold ranges are, that can be a very significant change in behavior. And so you get like a pop-in kind of effect if they had something that was supposed to be more smooth, which you don't necessarily want. So I want to add smoothing here to try and smooth that out. The easiest way for me to do it, I would think, would be in here where I have a fixed polling interval for my get app data HTTP request business, would be to just do a lerp across the same duration as my polling interval from last value to new value every time we get a value. Which would, I guess, put you at a half-second delay on your values. Like, you'd only get the actual value at the end of another half-second. But I think it would look better. And then the alternative approach is to try and figure out how to fit it in here, where it lerps from an old value to a new value. But because you could have a variety of different inputs, I don't know how I would figure out what that lerp interval is. Yeah. I'm open to any wisdom from the chat, but I think the only approach for what I'm trying to do here is to apply smoothing for this specific type of input from the Pulsoid manager. But that would mean I'd have to reproduce it anytime I have any other kind of query. Maybe it's fine. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. Okay. On status. Yeah, makes sense. Status. Book, get app data. Where is this being called from? Start coroutine. Okay. On status is what? Where are you called from? Okay. This does set status. Interesting, okay. This is me not remembering how I wrote any of this stuff. Okay, so set status does what? Oops. What does set status do? Where is set status? Oh, it's an indicator thing. Okay, wait. So how is this actually getting... Oh, wait, no. Okay. It doesn't actually care about that at all. Okay, back to the manager. Forget that. Forget that. This is setting heart rate. Where is that doing that? Because we don't actually care about the status. That's the HTTP status. App heart rate equals result data heart rate. So what I could do, this is every time it gets a successful status thing back, is I can do, cool, we got a new heart rate, change this to be a floating value, another, like, it would be, what would it be? It would be, like, float, new heart rate, 0, something like that. Although I guess if you, this would, I don't know. I'm spitballing here. So we have it structured like that with the underscore in the name and everything. Okay, so we just read it directly. What I want to do, I think, is this dot new heart rate equals like that, and then yeah, I've got my lerp utils. I'm a genius. Okay, lerp utils, float ease lerp. Cool. Okay, so this will be this dot app heart rate, this dot new heart rate. So we float from. Oh, this would need to be. What do I want to do here? Wait, no. Wait, hold on. I'm not setting anything. App heart rate would need to already exist. We go from what we already have to the new one. Okay, and then the function here would be f like this. This dot. Oh wait, no, but this is gonna fuck up real bad because it's gonna modify this dynamically, I think. Well, only one way. So like if I set this to do, if I do like that in here, and then I need to call this. No corresponds to oh, and then seconds would be this dot interval. What is it? App refresh interval. There we go. And we have our function, which takes in a float. It should take in a float. Parameter float. This dot app heart rate is an int. Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah. I would need to round this. Round to int. Nearest whole number. That's fine. Okay. So we go from our current value to the new value, setting this to the new value. So that's on success. Cool. I'm wondering if this will fuck up the lerp though, as it's like gonna move the floor out from under it basically. Or if this, how did I write this? That would be an easy way to figure this out, because I wrote this function. We have our start value. Okay, cool. But these go by reference or value. Probably value rate, because they're primitives. So we copy that value, I think. Yeah, and then we just... Yeah, and then we update... Yeah, okay, so the start value should be immutable, I think. I think. And then I would just need to do... like so. I think. Cannot yield inside an anonymous method. You hate to see it. That's fine. As long as we set the new heart rate in there, I can do... Oh wait, no, this is gonna fuck up also, because I need it to... Ah, shoot. Oh well. So, I'm in my own head right now. I have this function that I wrote, and it's very useful for a lot of things, which is just a wrapper for a coroutine-based lerp, where you do your lerp, as is the way, and you can pass in a callback that happens when you're done, or rather every time you set a new value, so you can pass in like a setter or a getter here, or it would only be a setter, and you'd be all set. So you can set a value every time you have a new value, but this will run for like however long you specify, but I need it to run concurrently with this, because we have to check for a refresh interval. I mean, I could just... Now this is bad. This is bad programming. I would be tying my lerp interval here, app refresh interval, because whenever this is done, we would know that we can move on. So this is actually fine. I don't need this because this is acting as a timer, and also doing work, which is weird, but maybe it's acceptable. So now I can test this though. I can test this by, instead of doing result data heart rate, I'm just going to have this flip-flop between hugely different values and see if it looks normal. We are going to do 100 plus... what do I want to do? Int flip equals minus 20, like that. And it's going to be plus flip. Flip equals flip times minus 1. So this should alternate between 120 and 80 every half second, which is very, very frequent. But I want to see what it looks like. Let's go. Let's see what happens here. How badly did I just fuck up my app? Let's find out. Alright, first step is for Pulsoid here. Boom. Oh, I need a new auth token. Easy enough to get. I built this such that you could actually set this up on stream and not leak any important credentials. So there we go. Hey, that looks really good, actually. I think that's what I want. It's just, yeah. And so, like, we can see it's smoothly interpolating between old and new values. I think that's exactly what I want. My only hang-up here is that this is like a interpolation function exclusively for this one mechanism for getting a mood swing. Well, yeah. So Denchi, I don't know if you've seen, a couple folks have tweeted clips of using this app, and I was really, really touched by it. But they all have like really, really stark jumps, basically, and they have their output parameters or whatever are tied to parts of their model, and so you're not getting a smooth step with these because the pulse could jump wildly between polling intervals or whatever. So they would have parts of their model suddenly like flash into existence rather than smoothly like apparating or what have you. So I want to try and overcome that. So that's what this is for. Yeah, and so I just had it ping pong right now to be easy enough to figure out if it was working, which it does seem to be working, which is good. I'll go back and put the normal code in now. What I don't like is that as I add more functions here, I will need to write a new smoothing method for each input method, I think. I think that's how that works. Because... And so I know you've got smoothing in for parameters. Maybe you're a pro at this. I can't think of a way where I can accomplish this, where I do a lerp, because you need a time interval for a lerp. And here I know what my time interval is because I know how frequently I'm polling the pulsoid business, the API here, which is every half second, which is what they recommended. But for other things, I don't know how frequent I should expect to try and change. Like, I'm just polling every module that I have, or the active module every frame, and asking it what it thinks its current heart rate value is. And so I don't know how to do a proper lerp for that. I can make this go less than every frame, and then I would just have, like, this would be the limiter for how frequently you get heart rate information. And then I could have, like, if instead of this happening every frame, this happened every half second or whatever, I would know what my lerp value for this would be, and I could apply the lerp at the top level, so it doesn't matter what kind of input value you're getting. You just always have, like, a half second lerp. But I don't know if that's good or bad. It's impossible to say, really. I'm going to turn this off because it's giving me the mood swings, like you said. Alright, so stop that. The lerp here is good, though. Don't need that flip anymore. So, okay. So what's the smoothing? Such a such a chore. This is okay. I could maybe I should make this not every frame. But then you lose responsiveness potentially. I hate it. I hate having to think of the solution here. Let's try that though. Let's see what happens. T equals 0. T plus equals time. Time. Delta time. There we go. So we're gonna have that happen. Prior heart rate is. Yeah, makes sense. Do I use this for anything? Why did I write this? Was I just anticipating that I was going to try and do... Hold on, was this used anywhere? Oh yeah, okay, it is. Right. Oh, duh. I'm forgetting my own features here. Prior heart rate is used to figure out if you've crossed over the threshold. That makes sense. So if your last heart rate was lower than the current heart rate, yeah, okay, that makes sense. So what I want to do here is if t greater than or equal to 0.5. We get our new heart rate. Wait, what am I... So I'm saying if we, every half second, so this is going to accumulate time until we get to a half second, then we'll collect what our new heart rate is, and then we need to lerp. Will this mean anything else we do the lerp? We would do... I'm trying to lerp the heart rate value. So, like what you just saw with the mood flashes, right? Where I'm trying to get it so that you have a smooth step no matter what. Even if the reported heart rate value from your, like your API or Bluetooth device or whatever suddenly jumps 50 pulses per minute, beats per minute between polling intervals, I want the app to still report a smooth step for your heart rate between there and here. It should be a continuous line. It shouldn't have any breaks. But the way I have it designed currently could potentially give you breaks. So I'm trying to lerp the old heart rate, prior heart rate, to the new heart rate. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm trying to figure out a way to do it at the top level though, right? Because the way the app is set up is I have a whole bunch of different methods you can use for input, right? I've got like a debugging slider that's really useful for, as I said, debugging. There are 2 ways to get information out of Pulsoid currently. You can read from an external file, and soon I will be adding direct connection to Bluetooth if you have a Bluetooth adapter for your Windows machine. So all of these have their own quirks. They all pull at different intervals. They all can collect data at different rates of time. And so I'm thinking I need some way to smooth them no matter what input method you're using, right? So like right now, the slider is very smooth because it's happening per frame. You get a new value every frame. Pulsoid here is way less smooth. It pulls at most every half second, so there's at least that much latency. And I don't know if the API actually updates that frequently, or if I'm pulling faster than can be accommodated for by the API. Like if the actual heart rate monitor device or the app itself is only updating its value every 2 seconds, then you've got a big jump potentially between smooth damp. Is that like a... So the issue isn't so much that I don't know how to do a lerp. Like lerping is a very easy function to do in Unity, right? There's a bunch of ways to do it. I'm just trying to think of when I need to be doing this within my update loop. What is smooth damp is what, like math? Smooth damp, yeah. What does this do? Current velocity. What the fuck is current velocity? Huh? Okay. Now you're gonna need to teach me what smooth... I can look this up, that's fine. we will see what that does. Now, what does this do? There we go. Okay. So current velocity. The current velocity of this value is modified by the function every time you call it. Okay. But what is the input for that? You just start with 0? It looks like, yeah, you just start with 0. Okay, so it's just an out value? Yeah, I mean, that's what lerping does. Lets you fade one value towards another value over a given time. Yeah. Like, that's how lerping works. Oh, okay. I get what... Okay, so current velocity is just what your current t value is in a normal lerping. So this is a way that you can accomplish a lerp without using like a coroutine. Well, yeah. Well, you specify the time. Approximately the time. Delta time. Yeah, okay. So this is just the way you would accomplish a lerp without using a coroutine, where you specify your current velocity and your desired how long it will take. And so then it updates this, so eventually, like, halfway through this, your y velocity will be 0.5, I think, essentially. Yeah, let's try that. Let's see what happens. So then I don't think I need this. There's no if anymore. There's no t. So you're saying I could just do... What would it be? We need a float. I guess, yeah, we do still need a t. 0. Lerp doesn't let you do that. I don't understand what you mean when you say fade. Because my understanding of lerp is, yeah, you go from value A to value B, and you can smooth step it or do whatever you want with it. You can have a... I guess you could have a non-linear... It's not a lerp then, but you can smooth off the edges. Like in my lerp utils function here, I do a smooth step on the finally output, like on the time value, so it doesn't actually proceed linearly. Yeah, so you can do whatever you want. Lerp is, I guess, a misnomer there because it's not linear. But those are coroutines also. So, every frame we're gonna try and we're gonna do math smooth damp, I guess. And when this is, I'm having a hard time visualizing how to get this to only happen at a fixed interval. Because if we're polling every frame for a new heart rate value, then we can't interpolate. So we need to only poll every half second or whatever. But then we're introducing latency to things that can poll smoother or faster than that. I don't know. This is actually more of a head scratcher than I was anticipating. That's why I wasn't trying to do something with like a time value here, where we accumulate time in every half second. You get the new value. I'm not sure if you're laughing at me because of ineptitude, or you're just like, ah yes, shared misery. You just set the target value to whatever you last from the tracker. Yeah. Okay, I guess that makes sense. But then it's like a moving target, isn't it? And that fucks up lerps pretty bad. Like if I just did math, smooth damp, and we did, no, I can't even do that, because prior heart rate's always just going to be the output of the previous. Yeah, like if I just do prior heart rate here, right? This is just the output of the previous thing. And then the target, like you said, is this stuff. No, this doesn't make sense to me. This isn't gonna work. I don't think. Then we've got what the tracker says. We've got our velocity, which we can say is t. And we want this to happen, I think it's in seconds. Ref. Doesn't like it, why not? What am I missing? Oh, and also these are ints is also the problem. It doesn't like that, so I can cast these. Can always cast everything. Yeah, that's the problem. And then this needs to be a float as well. And we finally do math round to int. Now this is a very ugly function I've constructed here. Let's see. Round to int. I don't think this is going to work. I'm pretty sure this is not going to work. But we can try it. Back to Unity. So now with my slider here, what is it doing? Huh? Where's it going? I'm not touching anything. Why did it creep up to 158? Where's the truth? What happened? Oh no. This doesn't seem right. Yeah, like, this is not... No, you gave good advice, I think. But, this is not correct. It, like, stalls out or something. It's almost there. It's cool to see it, like, have a slight delay, I think, instead of just being, like, 1-to-1. And this is almost what I want. But I think because it's not linear, the time value is, like, or the velocity value is, like, petering out. And so it's never actually, like, it's, the velocity is approaching 0 before it actually reaches its destination. Which is probably me just not implementing this correctly. It's fading towards it, yeah. But it becomes slower and slower each time. Almost what we want. Is there just like a smooth with no damp? That would be fine. Can I just actually just straight up lerp linearly? You set this. Yeah. Okay, that's what I was getting at. Like I thought that would be an issue. I'm setting the start value to the current value every frame, which I don't want to do. And this goes back to like, okay, so I need to update this every time this is done, basically. What am I missing here? Parentheses, yeah. It's like a whole can of worms. A whole can of worms. It'll technically never reach it. Yeah, it's a constantly moving set of goals here. So we set this to the value here, but then we're moving the floor. I can't use prior heart rate. This needs to be literally what it was last frame so we can detect if we've passed a threshold. How do I get what we were when we started this? I don't know a way to do that easily. I don't know a way to do that at all. What a pain. What a pain. Yeah, okay. How can I fix it? Like, if this was using, like, a callback function or something like that, like what I have over here, I could set it so that it only fires when it's done with its lerp. But now, since this is happening every frame, I would need some way to detect that it's done. When it's finally done, we could then, like, if I did a float start, right, or whatever, it's 0. That's fine. And I popped in start here. What I'd want is we start with start, we go to the target, and then when we're done reaching our target, we set start to our current value or something like that. Difficult. Difficult, difficult, difficult. Could I do with like a smaller interval? Does that matter? I think this is going to behave exactly the same, right? Surely it will. Yeah, and then, okay, like you said, it like basically never actually reaches. Even if I have a really small interval, it will never reach the maximum. It gets closer because the window is smaller, so it gets there sooner. But it's, yeah, okay. That doesn't do anything different. That's fine. I'm stumped. I can't believe this is what stumped me. I thought cloning profiles was going to stump me, but I don't even know if I'll get to that today. Probably not a good fit here, but are you referring to the smooth damp? Not a good fit here? You might be right. Okay, so what do we need to save here? Or you just smooth it and stop it and tell it to just jump to the final target when you're really close. Just tell it to cheat, basically. Yeah. Yeah. I have that in all of my lerp utils, like over here that I've previously written, is it'll do its thing for its whole time cycle, but then at the end of it, I just forcibly set the value to whatever we wanted it to be in the end, because floating point numbers don't always reach the destination. Sometimes they're pretty close, but not quite. So it's important to just be like, oh yeah, and also, yeah, you made it. It's the same. It's the same. Oh, you know what I could do? I could. This is gonna be squirrely. Okay, so we're gonna set like that. We're gonna do. If t is greater than 0.25 or something like that. Whatever our interval is, I'll make that a constant in a hot second here. We iterate over these, and then we're gonna do start. I hate start coroutine, but it might be the way here. And this will be lerp utils dot float lerp. And we're gonna start from prior heart rate. Yeah, okay. Yeah, this will work. Our end goal is we're gonna do. That's a getter, so I don't want to do that. I would do float target. Do target 0.25, and then our function, our callback function here is f. Such a bad typist. This dot heart rate equals f. Math f dot round to int. This will work surely, and then I can get rid of this business with the smooth damp. Don't need that anymore. I think I'm probably missing a set of parentheses. So, and then we're gonna do t plus equals time delta time reset our timer. Okay, so this should be every quarter second. We find our active target. We start a coroutine that will last until the next interval, and we lerp from what we previously recorded as our heart rate up here, whatever it was at the point in time. We get our target, and then we go. I think this introduces latency, but I think it will be a smoother experience. Like, there's no way to not have latency if you want to smooth stuff, unfortunately. It's just the way of the world. Yeah, okay, I think that looks correct. I think that's... Oh, yeah, I should show you in Unity. I think that's correct. It's kind of hard to tell with the slider. Let's introduce a much larger interval than a quarter second and see if it looks like what we'd expect. Let's do a 1.25 seconds. Back to Unity. Let's see if this behaves like one would expect. Yes, okay. So with like a very large interval, this behaves like you'd expect. Completely smooth, start to finish. Oh, but that didn't trigger my expression. What the fuck? Huh? Why not? That's no good. That's bad. Huh. When I'm below 85, and I go above 110, it should trigger my angry expression, but it's not. What the fuck? Okay. Why? We're setting the start heart rate. The output here, which is fine, I would assume. It seems to be working. Every frame we're saying prior heart rate is equal to this dot heart rate. Just get angrier. Good emotes, Denchi. I'm not sure what you're trying to convey here, but I like the spirit. ISB's right, I just need to get angrier, which isn't hard to do when you're programming, as I'm sure she knows. Angie. Oh, okay, these are meant to convey Angie? Okay. I see. Speaking of emotes, assuming all goes well, for tomorrow's pizza stream, I think I will be trying to enable affiliate so that you guys can have your wonderful pizza emote, and you can spam it up in everybody else's channel. I'm gonna set, I think I can modify this, the channel point redeem for getting a emote to like the lowest number of points. I really don't want to give the Amazon machine more money, but I do want channel points as a programmer, and I do want to use an emote, and that's how they get you. So please don't feel obligated or nothing. I literally am just doing it for the emote slot. If you would prefer, please use the channel point redeem to get your singular channel emote for very cheap and for no real money. But that's the plan. Yeah, that's what I'm told, right? It's worth it for the emote. I don't know. I don't want people being like, you know, please take my money, because the Amazon machine gets the first couple subs anyway completely. And I'm not looking for income from this, but I just really want emotes. I hate that they paywall it like that. Okay, so why isn't this working? Prior heart rate is set to whatever your current heart rate is, and in our coroutine here, we're setting heart rate to the current lerped value. So one would think, whenever this lerped value passes over the threshold, our prior heart rate is going to be set like so, and then we will see... Wait. Oh, shoot. That's what it is, okay. because the coroutine is not operating in lockstep with the update function, I'm hitting a race condition. This is a fucker signed me up to Amazon Music without asking the other day. Hate it, right? Don't I fucking hate it. I hate that they have you buy it. Anyway, the issue here is that the coroutine is not operating in lockstep with the update function, so this is a synchronization issue, which is probably why you shouldn't do something like this, and there's probably a way for me to do this all in the update loop. There almost certainly is, which would solve this issue, instead of trying to start a coroutine. What would that solution be? Oh, wait, yeah, actually. So, yeah, I have, like, a callback to update this. This is happening more frequently than the update loop, etc., etc. Let's try and fix that. What if instead I did... Well, this is less than 1.25. We could do else. So then here what we'd do is this dot heart rate equals math f dot lerp. I'm going to lose the easing function, but I can just copy it out of my utils, I think. We're going to do from prior target. I should just copy this. Or actually, I don't need to. Target 1.25f. And then our round. I think this will solve the problem, because this will make this all happen... Oh wait, oops. This will happen all within lockstep of the update function. We're saying... There's probably a better way to write this if statement. Pay no mind to the cobbled together code. I haven't had VS Code open for this entire time. I got so distracted talking about emotes. Oh my god, streaming's a blow up. Okay. So the problem was, I've got a coroutine here that is calling this ease function in its coroutine loop. But here in my outer update loop, I'm updating this prior heart rate every frame. So it's possible that the heart rate value here is being updated more frequently than we're able to check and compare the new heart rate against the old heart rate, like here, where we're comparing if the prior heart rate's less than the threshold and the new heart rate's greater or equal to the threshold, we trigger our thing, right? Because the other thing was happening out of step. I think that's what the problem was. So now I just moved the lerp function internally here. We're driving this off of t here needs to not be 1.5. This is now t, like so. There we go. That should work. That should definitely do it, and there definitely won't be any problems. This is not correct. What's wrong? What the fuck have I done? It super doesn't work. Why is it at 66 of all things? What? I'm very confused. Okay. What did I do? Oh. Yes. There we go. I need to not reset T when I'm trying to use T as a lerp function. Let's try that again. Smooth. I think that's... It's hard to tell, but I think that's correct. Wait, no, that can't be correct. That's way too fast. That's much, much, much too fast, because I have it set to be a lerp over 1.5 seconds. What have I done? What have I done? None of this makes any sense. What am I doing? Who's pinging me? Somebody was asking for sake suggestions, but I don't have anything. But they pinged me. All right. Yeah. Okay. So this is supposed to only be. Well, this is less than a Oh, wait, no. Ah, I don't know. Because it's changing the goalposts every frame, right? That's not how this is supposed to work. So this is saying for every frame that's under the allotted time, we're saying here's our target, which can change frequently. It's not staying put here. Oh, wait. No, there's an easy way to fix that, I think. This is getting really squirrely, though. With all these member variables floating about, I hate this. Anytime you have to introduce member variables to a function, you've probably made a mistake. In my opinion. Target. There we go. No, wait, this has a compiler issue. Equals module. Oh, Jesus. Right, you can't just... Oh, wait, yeah. That's what I need to do. It's like this. Like so. Totally flip this around. I'm sure there's a better, more elegant way to write this conditional that I'm just not seeing right now. I'll figure it out in post later. Let's stop this from running. Let's try again. So what I should be seeing is that my value here lerps over the course of like a second and a half. Which isn't what's happened. Oh, maybe. It seems like it's waiting, and then it's going. Like it's not going right away. I don't know, this doesn't seem optimal. This seems bad, actually. It'll definitely produce a smooth step, but it's like on a delay. I mean, maybe it's only a problem because I've got my delay interval set to so high. If I set this to like a half second or whatever, nobody will ever notice. My threshold thing works again. That's true, yeah, so it's bound to its own... Yeah, so the way I've got it set up right now is... whenever we 1.5 seconds have passed, or 1.25 seconds or whatever, we set our heart rate value to... Wait. What the fuck am I doing here? Wait, hold on. This is like primo rubber ducking time. Thank you for actually asking me to explain my work, because this doesn't make sense. Okay, so if for every second over 1.5 seconds, that doesn't make any sense, we set our heart rate to the value of this lerp, where we're using t. Oh, wait, sorry, less than, not greater than. While t is less than 1.5 seconds, we're lerping. But this lerp value here needs to be a value from 0 to 1, doesn't it? So that's already bad. Let's like, if we change it to that, does that fix things? So we lerp for whatever this t value is while we're under 1, which should be good. And then when this eclipses 1, we reset it, and we figure out what our new target is for the next interval, is what the thought here is. So we acquire our target here, and we go smoothly to said target over the course of the next 1 second. And yeah, I can obviously do like normalization to make this whatever number I need it to be instead of just 1. I do that like over here, for example. We do divide by seconds, where seconds is any number, and then we can get a value of t times the delta time over seconds. Alright, let's try that again. Let's go back to Unity and see what happens, now that I've fixed the interval from not being more than 1. No, that still looks wrong. That's still no good. you can see it's like in bursts, which is not what I want. Because like you said, it's going every 1 second. Jeez, I didn't expect this would be such a difficult task. I thought smoothing would be really easy. Ha 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 ha. I don't know. But it does produce smooth result or smoother results, I think. Hard to say, actually. I guess there's only so many values between... I don't know. I don't know. Now I'm trying to like even imagine what's the behavior I'm expecting. What am I looking for here? And now I'm not even so sure. Easy to be smooth until they're not, right? Yeah. I just need sandpaper is what I need. Then I can make anything smooth. Give me some high grit, like nail file or something. Get rid of all the nub marks on this code. I don't know. What am I trying to do here? I don't know. Maybe the way it was before is just the best way to do it. With no smoothing. A list queue of 60 values and add the newest target to it each frame. Why? And just take the average of that. Huh? I mean, that's certainly an idea, but I don't understand why you would do that. That would just be what your average is. What the average of the last 60 frames would be, is what you're saying. And then eventually, once you settle on a value, every value in that list will be the same. Huh? It's not a bad idea. That's a fucked up idea, Denchi. You're crazy. I love it. Let's try that. That's actually a really novel approach. This is why you're the big brain genius. I'm just the small brain genius. Alright, where was I? Alright, this thing. No more lerping. We hate... All my homies hate lerping. Let's get rid of... all of this. Private. List. Int. Past. New list. A queue would also make sense. It's super dumb, but works every time. Yeah, you could also use a queue. Yeah, because I want to pop every time I push, right? So a queue would make sense. Yeah, you're right. I should do a queue. Absolutely, I should do a queue. That's the best way to maintain a fixed length. Queue. Love a good queue. Okay. Let's get rid of all of this horse shit. Don't need it. So every frame we're gonna this dot past dot pop or DQ this dot past second dot inQ module dot get heart rate. Wait, no. I only need to do this after the size is over a certain length. My bad. If past second dot count greater than 60, and this would be modifiable to be whatever target frame rate is. I should probably make this a function of the frame rate, actually, instead of just hard-coded at 60. Yeah. I got you. Only DQ when it's full. Yup. Then we inQ. We don't have this T function anymore. We're going to say this dot heart rate. Nope. No. Why is it? What the fuck did I do? I must be missing... Oh, that's why. Now, is there an easy function to figure out the average of a collection like that? Probably, right? There must be. This dot. I mean, you can always just write a for loop to do it, but is there like a map? Of course not. That's fine. Reach. Oh, I could use link Q, yeah. Q's have dot average, I think, if you have link Q. Let's see. I'm gonna just write my own thing. I can't imagine there's a more efficient way than this. Oh wait, actually, if it's a Q, you'd have to just use. It's peak, right? It's the way you get a value without popping. A second peak. Does it take an index? Now, how do I iterate over one of these? Actually, now that you mention it, amateur programming hour over here. How do I? Peak is just the next one, right? Of course, there's no. Huh. Yeah. Oh, I guess yeah. That's what it's for. There's an iterator. Fine. That's what for each is for. Denchi telling me to just go with my gut, but I'm like, oh no, I gotta do things right. Boss is watching. Yeah. Okay. For each int I in this dot past second. This dot. And then we do math f dot round to int average. Damn. Now that's a function. We've done it. Alright, let's see. Let's go to Unity. Let's see this thing in action, this monstrosity. It shouldn't matter. If it's a for each, it'll just iterate 0 times. Oh, that's true. Holy shit. It's working. The mad genius himself, Denchi. Oh, it's so smooth. You're such a big brain genius, dude. That was actually the best solution I could ever devised. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Like butter. It's beautiful. Yeah. There we go. Perfect. I think this is exactly what people will want. And then, so to cap this off, I can go back to my pulsoid code here, and we can undo all the changes we made here, and we can just do what we were doing before. Let's go all the way back. No need for a lerp of any sort. No more member variables. Keep all that shit in the nasty plugin. Who that is? Soul Kala joins the skeleton crew. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Welcome aboard. There's the old skeletal saying when a poor body is laid to rest and it does not read rest in peace on their tombstone, their soul gets drafted into the skeleton war when they go to hell, and that's a big problem, right? But you yourself here, Soul Kala, have voluntarily signed up. And so we appreciate that because you're saving some poor draftee, some poor idiot who couldn't get rest in peace on their tombstone. Thank you very much for stopping by. No skeleton war for you. Yeah, the gang's all here. Tiberius, you're here. Denchi's here. The gang's really assembled. It's like the Avengers. 1 second, I gotta go turn on the light. The Avengers have assembled. Everybody's here. Why is this complaining? Where am I missing a semicolon? There's no way. Oh, okay, there we go. Yeah, so thank you for stopping by, Sokola. I've got about 40 minutes left of this programming stream before I have a hard stop. So that'll be fun. I'll be streaming again tomorrow for a baking stream at approximately this time. In like a half hour from now tomorrow, I'll be doing some baking. That'll be fun. Come on by if you'd like to do that kind of thing. The recipe will be shared on stream, and I've tweeted about it as well. If you would like to bake along at home, it's always a good time. Testimonials say it's great. Okay, so this is good. This is working. I can make it less than a second of latency, I think, but I don't know if I would want to. Oh, actually, so let's test this with a non-slider input also while I'm here. Let's do like so. This is going to just be this app heart rate plus what do I want to do? There's a ping pong, right? I just need something that oscillates between 0 and 1, right? How would I do this? What would I try and do here? I'm just gonna go back to what I was doing before, which is load. Tiberius, what are you up to today? By the way, you're stopping by, saying hello. Have you been playing more Pokemon? I'm sure you've beaten the game by now. I'm sure you're way ahead of me, but I know you as the Pokemon guy first now, and the brilliant programmer second. I'm curious what your status in the world of Hisui is, if you're still playing that game, or if you've moved back out over to VGC. I haven't been able to catch one of those in a while. Alright, let's see. So this is going to be flip. -1. This is just going to be 100 plus flip -20. Flip plus flip -1. Why is it not like this? Int. The new Pokemon is great. I genuinely think it is one of the best Pokemon games that they have made in a very long time. It is extremely breath of fresh air. A lot of the changes they've made are genuinely enjoyable. It's rough around the edges, but I don't know. It's fresh. It's certified fresh. Nobody I usually watch played it. I've played it twice, for what it's worth. I have 2 VODs up on my YouTube channel where I play it in Italian as a method of trying to get better at reading the language, and I've continued to play it off stream. It's fun. I like it a lot. And Tiberius plays it a bunch too. Okay, so now if I switch to the Pulsoid app, yep, this works exactly like I wanted. I am very biased as a huge Pokemon fan, but it's a very fun RPG and Pokemon game. See, that's like the best praise you can offer, though, right? Is if it's a fun game in its own merits, like, that's great. It's a fun RPG, and also it's a fun Pokemon game. Catching Pokemon, yeah, so there's like a whole stealth mechanic where the way that they balance Pokeballs now is, in addition to just like Pokeball, Great Ball, Ultra Ball, which have different efficacies for catching Pokemon, they're variations that are much more likely to succeed on throw, but you can't throw them as far because they're very heavy. So you have to get very close, and if you get close, you might startle the Pokemon and they run away or try and fight you if they're aggressive. So it's like a whole stealth mechanic in there. It's very boiled down, and you're not going to get any of the like Metal Gear Solid 3 level shenanigans. You pretty much just throw bait in one direction and try and sneak up the other direction. You can creep through tall grass. So now finally, 25, 30 years after Pokemon starts, you get to be the monster in the tall grass, and the Pokemon have to worry about you, because you sneak through and like ambush them, as opposed to the other way around. It's fun. I wish my only real complaint with the game is that you can throw out your Pokemon at any time, even when you're just walking around town. But all they really do is just sit there, and you can press a button to like make them do an animation. I wish that they could follow you around outside the Pokeball at all times. A lot of the recent games have had some mechanic vaguely similar to that, but they just kind of sit wherever you toss them. So I understand why they can't let you ride any Pokemon that you have or whatever. That's like a lot of edge cases. Like, can you ride a Steelix? Probably. Can you ride a Rapidash? Well, you'd think so, but they're covered in fire, so that'd probably hurt. How about like a, I don't know, Drowsy? Drowsy's not in this game. They're kind of big. Could a human sit on that? I don't know. What about Bibarel? They're kind of horse-shaped. They're on 4 legs. So, like, that's a lot of Pokemon to go through and figure out, can a person sit on them all, make an animation that accommodates all of that. I get that. So you've got your fixed number of mounts. That's totally cool. I just wish they could run around alongside you. It would add some life to your team, I feel like. But it's a relatively minor complaint. Other Pokemon games, other than a couple of recent ones, have never let you do that. So, you know, nothing ventured, nothing, or nothing lost, I should say. Okay, so this is working. We're ping-ponging back and forth exactly as we expect over the course of, I guess, 1 second. That's great. I can switch over to my slider. And now it'll interpolate between 2 different input sources also, which is pretty cool. It's like if I set the slider way low, it'll do interpolation nice and smoothly. That's awesome. This is great. This was a great suggestion, Denchi. You're full of good ideas. So let's put this back to the way it was. I should make a way to test this more easily. Also, I need to build unit tests. I remember asking you about what you had for automated testing, and you're like, oh, very little. So that gave me good faith that Unity just doesn't let you do unit tests, and that I'm doing things the right way. Okay, so we've got our heart rate. Cool. So now smoothing is handled at the top level here, which is great, because it means that any modules I build in the future will be able to accommodate this, no problem. We don't have any additional member variables, which is great. Like it is. So if you've ever watched any of my previous, like, prior to Unity programming streams, which I don't think you would have, because most of those were before I got ingratiated into the VTube Studio collective here. But I was doing, I built a Discord bot for the Keisan Gumi fan server I've mentioned a couple times, and that is very thoroughly unit tested, because I could not imagine deploying a bot that people can interact, like thousands of people can interact with, without it being absolutely bulletproof. So that's very thoroughly unit tested, and JavaScript can facilitate unit tests very well. The Jest framework is what I use for that. It's great for it. Unity does not have any such framework that I know of, or they don't advertise it, so it's a pain. But I like writing unit tests. I do it for work all day. I do it for fun. I'm sick in the head. Okay, so let's also tie this to frame rate. So, was application.framerate? Yeah, so this will be get past second will always be good. We base it on the frame rate. That makes sense. Yeah, okay, this is good. It'll always be a second if we make our count tied to frame rate. Cool. Cool, I like this. This is a good idea. This works. However, I didn't get to my second task today, which was cloning the profiles, but that's fine. So, as a rundown of where the V2 of this will be, because I'm going to wrap it up shortly. I have a half hour before I've got a hard stop, and I'll try... Ooh. Queue is empty. Denchi, you warned me about this, and I didn't listen to you. Yeah, right? You need like a Selenium type thing. Exactly. You need some way to mock user input, like a headless browser kind of thing. And that's a huge pain. But there are parts of it you can definitely test without that. Okay, so I was getting a divide by 0. Math.max 1. Like that. I'm surprised there wasn't something in the queue every frame, but I guess that's fine. Queue is empty. Huh? Why am I getting queue empty? There's no way. There's no way the queue is empty. It can't be. It cannot be. Oh god, everything just crashed. VS Code just crashed, I'm pretty sure. Oh wait, no, we're good. Okay. So it's complaining on line 170. How? How could this be? The error I'm getting is here, where we're calling DQ. It says the queue is empty. It cannot, it simply cannot be. I'll go back to Unity here. The error that we're getting is on line 170, which is what I had highlighted, and it says invalid operation exception, queue empty. If we go to the code, the only way we get to line 170 is if the queue count is greater than the target frame rate. Wait, hold on. Yes. Yeah, you're right, I should do that. I should in-queue first. I guess that would solve it, but I'm wondering, you're right, I should in-queue first, but I'm not gonna, because this indicates a problem to me. All I can think, exactly, it shouldn't go in here. All I can think is that target frame rate is a negative value if it's not capped. If you're just telling it to do whatever, let's find out. Debug.log application.target frame rate. Target frame rate is not necessarily actual frame rate also, and I probably should be finding a way to bind this to actual frame rate, but I will do that later. Ah! And there it is. Who that is? Kemi! Bonacera. Good evening. How was your... I think you were playing Punch-Out, is that right? Welcome, welcome, welcome. So... Kemi. Zura. Surprise. Yes, you were playing Punch-Out. Did you win? That's important. I need to know. I love that game. Punch-Out is a great game. Thank you for stopping by. I really appreciate it. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Great game. The whole franchise is really good. I was just watching G Gundam last night with a couple of friends for like the third time or whatever, and that show reminds me of Punch-Out a lot in the way that you have some questionably tasteful caricatures of like a bunch of different nations, but it's generally received to be in good fun, so nobody gets too up in arms about it. It's got a charming cast of characters for sure. I'm happy to hear that you finished it. Okay, so yeah, Denchi, here's exactly what I thought. Here in Unity, we can see that I'm printing out target frame rate, and it is -1. So I shouldn't be doing that. I need to instead figure out what my actual frame rate is. And I guess there's not a way to do it, right? There must be a way to get actual frame rate. But according to this, the printout, application target frame rate is negative value. So that's no good. Let's see. Let's consult the internet. Unity, get actual frame rate. I also wonder if this is something that would go away when you actually build it. Or if this is an editor-only problem. 2011, tell me. Yeah, I guess this makes sense. 1 divided by time delta time. Your frame was running at during the last frame. Very sensitive, even with tiny variations in the same... yeah, I should just read the docs, huh? That would answer my question. Default value of application target frame rate is -1. In the default case, Unity uses the platform's default target frame rate. Okay. So, I was hoping that target frame rate would update to whatever the platform's target default frame rate is at time of, I guess, compile? I don't know. I should just leave it at 60 and assume that it's fine. I'm not building this for multiple platforms. That's fine. I just figured I should get smart and make sure this is always a frame and not 2 frames if you're running at half that or whatever. But we'll do 60 for now, that's fine. I'll leave it to do. That's fine. weird stuff. Okay. Back to what I was trying to do. I was trying to showcase all the features I have for V2 of this plugin. Okay. So, in the next version of this plugin, we've got all the same goodies, ways you can get your heart rate plugged in. You can use your debug slider for quick debugging. You can still link with pulsoid via 2 different ways. You can read from an external file. If you have some other application that's outputting, like a JavaScript app or something like that, I don't know. Figured this was the most open-ended way, short of a WebSocket, and I might do a WebSocket in the future. We'll figure that out. In terms of outputs, I have added a new tracking parameter, a fourth one, that I need to add a tooltip for, because I only have 3 right now, which is the actual literal pulse, like your actual BPM, because I learned that parameters can go way above -1 to 1. So this is, if somebody wanted to say, have a calculator or like analog printout on their model, I've seen a couple people do weird things like that. You can have your literal actual heart rate, do with it what you will. We can also trigger expressions or deactivate expressions at certain thresholds of heart rate here, which is good. You can copy and delete these at will. And crucially, the most important thing is this whole system has been overhauled so that you can have a unique, as soon as she loads, there we go, a unique set of parameters for your outputs per individual model. So if you have a bunch of different models, you can configure them all separately, and you'll be well on your way to being a heart rate pro. The last feature that I wanted to get to that I don't think I'll get to today is the ability to copy a profile like this onto a different model. So if you had 12 different variations of Akari, yeah, it's something very visually different than the red face. I wanted to make sure that I wasn't copying across profiles unintentionally, but I do want to have a way to deliberately do that. So I want to add like a copy button here, which will let you clone settings from one profile to another. And that will have to be for off-stream or another time. I spent all day working on this interpolation. But now it works. It works great. Did I remove the ping pong here? Yeah, I did. Okay, cool. Yeah, okay, so that'll be something for another time. And then I need to update all of my readmes, because like this is missing text for the new custom tracking parameters. Oh yeah, and so Denchi, this is why I was asking if I could have a button or a thing in the API that would let me go straight to a new menu in the app, because right now I've got, for this tooltip about how art mesh tints work, a button that opens up one of Hawkbar's apps, the VTube Studio Tagger, which I direct everybody to anytime they need to learn about their model. But it'd be very, very cool if I could direct somebody to the app, as that is now a feature inside the app. It would be great. So like instead of visit the external tool, I would click this and it would just direct you to the active menu in VTube Studio. That would be great. Especially now that it's a feature. It seems like such a core thing that so many plugins require. You need to know what your art meshes are named. I'm really glad you added that. It can only open menus if nothing else is open. Sure. I mean, you're the boss. You know better than I do about what your app should or shouldn't do. I'll take your word for it. I'm guessing you're doing that so plugins don't fuck with your workflow. Like if you're in the middle of doing something and a plugin tries to open another menu. Yeah. That would be really obnoxious if I was carefully making a new expression in the beautiful new expression editor, and suddenly this plugin arbitrarily decides to open the hotkeys menu, and I lose all my progress. Yeah. That would suck. That would be very bad. Okay, I'm gonna go back to being me and not Akari. Oh, actually, wait. One thing I should check. While I have Akari here, let's check her parameters. All the way at the bottom here. I need to add the breathing parameter. I feel like this never saves. I don't know why. Maybe it's something I'm doing wrong. So we're going to track heart rate, breath. And we're going to output that to breathing. Now that I've added smoothing to the actual heart rate value, I want to make sure that this still looks correct. So get a good eyeful of your girl Akari here. She's not breathing too hard, though she probably should be, because the BPM is really, really high. Actually, that's pretty hard. So if I smooth this way down... Oh, awesome, it works. There we go. Okay. That's exactly like I expected. The trick for this one, because the breathing is a sinusoidal wave, this is something I did a while ago. You can only update the frequency of said sinusoidal wave after you reach back to your starting point, which was a real chore to figure out. Otherwise, she would like vibrate in place as the frequency was getting expanded or compressed in the middle of a pulse. But now she breathes normally. There you go, and it'll catch up. Great stuff all around. I'm super thrilled that this plugin is able to be built. I'm happy that I've seen a couple people use it so far. Now I'll go back to being me. I'm tired of being a Kari. Where am I? Me. There I am. In all of my glory. Anything else I can do? I have like 20 more minutes before I need to go. Anything else I can do? Now I'm wondering. I don't want to start the cloning feature, I don't think. That's like a whole different can of worms. But I don't... I guess I could update those tooltips while I'm here before I forget. I need to add localization sooner or later. But that's for another day as well. I have a whole great library that I built for that where I can pull text out of a CSV from a Google Drive file, so I can pass around a CSV link for translators to all edit simultaneously and just download it before I build, which is great. Where is my set of tooltips? Tooltip button. You know that I am a pro also because all of my tooltips are currently stored in the tooltip button class. It's just, it knows what everything should do. Alright, so we've got this one. Plus BPM. Value that represents the literal, actual, I guess. Rather than represents the actual current BPM. I don't know what somebody would use this for, but it is something they could potentially use. So we've got that. I don't think I had to change anything for the RMesh. I have to add a case for the... Let's do this. For the expressions now. Output params. Expression trigger. Tooltips. Two. Huh? How can it have multiple cases with 202? Oh wait, I can't read. 203? There we go. Alright, what do I want to write about the expression trigger here? How do I talk about what this does? How do I talk about colors? Would be the first output color. RMesh this output will gradually tend to... Okay, so I call it an output. Allow the... Right. I still don't have a style guide for how to write these tooltips. Do I say allow you, allow the user, will cause an expression, will cause an expression to activate or deactivate when the current heart rate. You guys get to watch me do documentation. The current heart rate exceeds or what's it? Exceeds a given threshold, I guess. That's probably sufficient. I think that makes sense. I had a whole big spiel for the color outputs, but I don't think I need that here. Why is it? Oh, I don't need the plus at the end. That's fine. Oh, I don't need a semicolon because that's an argument for a parameter. Cool. So we've got that. Go back to Unity. Pop this in to where it belongs. Go to our canvas. Viewport. Inputs, or no, outputs. Here we go. Oh wait, no, I don't even need to go here. This is a prefab expression. Expression module, this guy right here. Edit the tooltip button so that it uses the output expression enum, and that should work, I think. Documentation is very important, especially if people are going to be downloading this and using it, and I can't be there to hold their hand. So if I click on that, yep. Alright, expression trigger. This output will cause an expression to activate or deactivate when the current heart rate exceeds a given threshold. And I feel like I don't need to specify that the thing will then deactivate automatically when you go back below the threshold. Maybe I should, actually, that's probably important. Once the heart rate dips back below the hold. That's probably fine. I really need to outsource these to a text file though instead of having them in the code base. Might be worth noting there. Yeah. Okay. That's probably good. Do I need to do any cool bold text or anything like that? No, probably not. These should probably also be in the same order as they are here, which is alphabetical. Whatever, I don't care that much. For right now, I'll do that. So BPM, breath, linear pulse, right? Yeah, okay. Let's flip that around. Gotta do this administrative work on stream, or I'm never gonna make myself do it. Hold on, I gotta set my font size to what I normally use. It's too difficult to read these giant tooltips otherwise. Alright, so it's gonna be there as follows. It would be really great if I could auto-gen this, and then I could have this also auto-gen the README. So, oh yeah, that's another thing. I was talking about the VTube, not the VTube Studio, the Discord bot that I manage. I have that have a self-generating README. Yeah, I mean, that's why all my streams are like this. I stream so that I can force myself to play video games that I'll forget to play otherwise, or to make myself do the boring stuff, because now I'm accountable to all of you, not just myself. If I don't do it now, I'll never do it. BBL, yeah, okay, this is alphabetical, same order they are in the other list. So that the Discord bot that I manage, I have every command that you can execute has a field in its constructor that's a tooltip. And then I have the README I have a node script that iterates over every command that's currently registered to the bot and gets their tooltip, which you can activate or you can access from in Discord, and compiles a README based on all of those tooltips. It's great. It's self-documenting. All I have to do is write the tooltip once, and it's just everywhere. I need to learn how to do that, or figure out a way to do that here, so that I can have the README for this plugin have the same text as the README in the app. But, who knows? Who knows if I'll ever get there. That's a very lofty goal. Alright, so that's good. What else do I need to write a tooltip for, if anything? I think that's it. For the time being. Quick question. Yes. I am here. I'm ready to answer your question. You've answered so many of mine today. What do you do with the party horn without lungs? Alright, so it's one of those kind of questions. I've just been chomping on it like a cigar, which I guess the same question is, what do you do with a cigar without lungs? It's... Everything I do ties back to like a phantom pain kind of thing, right? This is what we did when we were alive, and so the memory lives on. It is simply something to do for nostalgia's sake. As you can note, I have never blown this party horn. It has not extended, even once, because I don't have lungs. But if you're going to ask me that, you're going to ask me why am I building a heart rate app, and it's just, it's what one does. It's not for me, it's for someone else. Alright, I think this is good. Current version 0.2. Oh yeah, okay, so I'm not going to start that now because I got a couple minutes left. I had a big brain realization where I've got a couple of drop-downs that all have refreshing values, and I should make a standardized way of actually refreshing those values, because I... Oh, why does it not have anything selected? Did I uncheck those? What happened? Wait, what happened? Okay, yeah, I must have just unselected all input methods, that's fine. Okay. I've got like this, which is a refreshable drop-down. I've got this list of expressions which refreshes. Soon I'm going to have a list of other profiles that you can potentially clone from that I'm going to need to refresh. So I need to make a standardized way of doing that, because right now everything does it on its own. But that is probably a problem for another day. I don't think I've got it in me right now. Somebody else is pinging me. What's going on? Yeah. I guess I could. I'm like, it's a problem for another day, but I should probably tackle it now. Like I was just saying, do the boring stuff now. I've got my refreshable dropdown, and I've got this port selection class. Side by side these. So the port selector is the original refreshable thing. It lets you refresh, get a new list of numbers, and it will add all of those numbers, and it will try and select the number that it already had if said number existed. But then you've got things like the emotions list, which are asynchronous. So I'm not sure what the best way to do that is. I think it would be something like you have a callback that you need to call at the end of your refresh method, which would be like, so this is of type T, and so you'd have like a abstract, or no, you'd have like this. The refresh values, list T, values like so. Current index is, and this would need to have a drop down, of course, as is the way. Like so. We get our... We don't need to do this, we just have our values list. Don't need to sort these. I guess you could sort them. I don't know what you'd sort them by, because it's probably not just able to be sorted. Maybe you want to sort them, I don't know. choices. And then we need to convert to a list of strings so we can add. I'm assuming it doesn't think that t.toString just works, right? Or reach t value in values value.toString. Does that work? We can make a new list. String is not capitalized in C#, of course, of course. This dot options, like so. And so this will let you refresh without losing your current value if your current value is still in the list, I think. No, this is not good. This needs to be changed because it's just keeping track of your current index. It's setting your... So if there's something that came before your currently selected item, this wouldn't work. This is no good. This is why I shouldn't have done this in the last 8 minutes. We need a way to... I think I have this implemented somewhere else, which is why it drives me crazy. Is I wanna have this all in one place. I feel like I have somewhere else where I solved this problem. Like if I go to not status indicator, where is it? Expression module. Like here, I've got another refresh function. I should make this text bigger again so people can actually read it. Like so. In the expression module here, I have this other more elaborate refresh method because this is asynchronous. So current index is what we have. We have our expression file. Create a ternary. This made sense when I was writing it. Okay. If our list of options is greater than 0, we get our current index text. Otherwise, it's null. We clear our options, add our new expressions, and I have a function for setting expression. What does this do? Expression and index. Okay. So this takes the text that you have and tries to find it in the list. Okay. Okay, that's how I should do that. Yes, that's correct. This all makes sense to me. So what I should be doing instead of storing int current index would be, this is very squirrely, string current, because the index might change, but the display name hopefully doesn't. But then what do you do if you have duplicate entries? I guess if you have duplicate entries, who cares which one you pick? They should not be duplicate. That wouldn't make sense. Text. And that's why I had the ternary. This dot drop down. Options. Like so. And we set value without notify. Here, like so. String into index. For all of my options, find the one where we have this is the string. This would be like so. Okay, that's better. That's better. This makes more sense. This is why I need to unify this, because it's written differently in 2 different places, which is bad coding practices. That's a great way to get your head spun around like this. But there was one thing that I thought was good here that I need to try and do. Or was it the other one that was done better? Because I did this more recently. I don't remember. Oh yeah, it's the ternary. I need the ternary. ternary right here. Right? Oh, wait, no, wait, well, hold on. Hold on, that's not where this goes. Okay, so what am I doing here? We get our current index. We get the string of the... Okay. Yes, that's right. That's how this works. Ternary makes sense. Ternary good, actually. Don't let Bon hear you. Or hear me say this. But ternary good, actually. Ternary nice and readable. Current index. Oh, I'm just remarking how useful this ternary is. Okay. We get the index of our current value. Our current selection is equal to, if we have no options, null. Otherwise, we set it to our text. And we do our math.min when we finally set. Okay, yes, this makes sense. So this is what we have for a refresh. Then we have... you'd basically call this on your abstract. This would be private, I think. Private. And so you'd build a callback that, like, it'd be public abstract refresh. Nope. Oh, abstract. This needs a void refresh. And in here is where you'd ideally call your refresh function at the end. I would normally just fill this in, but in the case of like the expressions thing, it's an async. You have to wait before you get this, so this is part of an asynchronous callback. The ports are synchronously done, so you do that separately there. But I think this unifies everything, and so I bring this up. I bring this up because I wanted to be able to clone profiles, and so I want to have a way to refresh the list of available profiles to clone, which would make a third type of refreshable list, and I realized instead of just writing this over and over again, I needed to have a way to put this together in a consistent way that doesn't drive me up the wall. Yeah. Nested ternaries are probably no good. You're right. Let's see. So then, for example, my port selector would become something that extends refreshable dropdown of type int. First, I should commit my code before I start making wild changes, because I got my lerping working. Push that. Okay, now I can break shit. Okay, so my port selector here, I think I want to add this as well. Yeah, okay. I don't have a function that I can do for my listener. That's fine. Actually, I don't need that. That's up to each individual implementation. I could try on enable refresh. That probably makes sense to me. Refresh. Okay. And so then, my port selector here extends refreshable dropdown for int is the type that it gets back. We get rid of this because it's already brought over. We implement our, what is it, control, comma? No. It's not just, I thought it was, well, there we go, implement abstract class. What we want to do. Sorry, I just lost my train of thought. I got distracted for no real reason. Okay. Sorry, totally got distracted by something outside. Okay, so this, we're going to implement our refresh method. We have our set port, that's fine. So refresh is now, all of this goes away, except refresh is just a simple call to refresh what did I call it? Values? Did I make it private? Am I an idiot? Protected? I keep forgetting that things can't access private members that they inherit. Refresh values, like so. Can I make this collection? Doesn't need to be a list. No? The name collection could not be found? Huh? Huh? System.collections? .generic? Am I missing something? What is... This is definitely a thing you can use in C#. Or is it, innumerable in C#? That's probably right. No? Okay, the collections object model. I think I just want enumerable, though. And not a collection? Like so? Then you lose the sort, but that's maybe fine. I don't actually need to sort. That was just oh, nice to have. Okay. So we then can pass in our keys. We don't have to cast it to a new list or anything. That's fine. We can get rid of refresh ports. There's probably an iSortable collection. I don't really need to sort the things that are in there. It was just a nice to have. That's fine. So now I can go to my port. I can't do that also. Gotta get rid of that. Protected. There we go. Okay. Port settings. Yes. Now we've got this guy. This is a... Where's the actual... Is it on the top level? That would have been smart of me to put it on the top level. Of course not, though. On the panel? No. On the drop-down itself? Where did I put this script? Of course, on the drop-down itself. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So what I need to do is the refresh button here is now going to get the port selector refresh method, and this should continue to work as expected. I'm pretty sure. I hope. Settings. Refresh. Yes. I'm going to open up another instance of VTube Studio real quick, and it should continue to work. Start VTube Studio. Things are getting out of hand now. There are two of me. Oh, hell yeah, it doesn't like that, because I've got the virtual webcam. Oh, no. We're competing for the same virtual web camera. Oh, no. Well, don't mind that too much. What I do need to show you, though, is that I can hit refresh now, and we get both of our ports back. Oh, no, we crash. Awesome. Index was out of range. No good. I got an exception. Index was out of range. How is that possible? I don't know. But, I'm getting pretty hungry. I think I'm going to call it. I'll try and figure this out off stream. But that's basically the premise I've got here. Is I want to make a refreshable drop-down for all of these different use cases. Like what we just implemented for the port selection here. Where you just have this refresh method. You execute your callback when you finally have a list you can pass in. So for something like the expressions here, you can call the async method in the plugin. When we finally get a response back from the WebSocket, you would call the refresh with the value of all of your expressions. and you'd be all set. It would just simply work. I wouldn't need any of this like weird waiting on business. It would simply work. Yeah. I'm super hungry though. I'm gonna go either help make or eat dinner, one of those two. And yeah, thanks. Thanks for all your help today, Denchi, for real. You gave me some seriously good wisdom for my lerping that I'll have to think about as a future solution to future problems. Like you said, it's simple, but it works. As for the end of the stream here, I'm going to send you off to Dr. Ricky Hirsch, who is giving her final lecture about social psychology, of which she has a doctorate in. So please give her the warmest welcomes from the grave here and attend class. She doesn't take attendance or anything, but you'll definitely want to study it for the final exam. Go hang out and tell her how cool she is, because she is. And until tomorrow, I wish you all a bonus era and good night, and I hope to see you all for Pizzasudan tomorrow at 6 p.m. about this time tomorrow. Be there or don't, honestly. It's fine, but I hope to see you either way. Good night.